Welcome back. Today we are in our 24th country, which is Albania.
We're going to be spending the first part of our time here in Albania in the southern part. So we're going to be based out of Ksamil. Ksamil is a very popular destination to go, just relax on the beaches. There's some other areas to explore around. However, unfortunately, we have some kind of gray weather right now. So not going to spend too much time on the beaches, but today we have a lot planned. We are going to go to the Blue Eye, which is actually where we're at right now. And then after this, we're going to go to Banya, which is some hot springs. And then we're going to go to the Butrint Acheological site, which is an old Roman town.
So we drove here from the little sleepy town of Ksamil, which feels like it's just getting ready for tourist season. The roads to get here were really windy, and we saw a lot of different herds of goats and goat herders kind of watching over their flocks. Albania is situated just north of Greece, which is where we just came from. We had a great time in Milos, the island, so if you have not watched that yet, make sure to go see that. But now we are just walking down to the Blue Eye, so we're gonna go check out this beautiful, beautiful body of water. So the reason that the water is bubbling up is not because it is a hot spring, but because the water is actually flowing in from underground. The water is actually so cold it can give you hypothermia, so it's not recommended that you swim, and there's actually no swimming signs. But the water is a super, super blue color. It's also crystal clear, so it's absolutely beautiful, and there's a path running along the river from the spot where it bubbles up, which is the Blue Eye, that you can walk along and just look at all the beautiful blue spots. And there's just nature everywhere with bees and flowers. It's really a very peaceful, beautiful park. We are now walking back down the road to the parking lot. The sun came out and it is nice and toasty. We probably will add a beach back into the itinerary for today if the weather holds. But next we're driving 2 hours to a spot called Banya, which is a hot spring with a bridge over top of it. We found out about this last night at supper when a local restaurant owner showed it to us on his phone and told us that we had to go. It looked amazing. We had not heard of it before, so we added it to our itinerary today. So yeah, we're very excited.
This is our cute little rental for the day. It is completely unofficial. There was like very little paperwork. There was very little anything. I got like a receipt saying how much I paid for it. And like when I got to the rental shop, I could kind of tell that's what it was going to be, because it was just kind of like a little place on the corner with some cars for rent. So it'll work though.
So about 2.5, 3 hours later, we are now at Banya Bridge. So Banya is a bunch of hot springs with this like medieval-esque stone bridge over the top of it. It is surrounded by the mountains. The drive through the mountains was absolutely beautiful. The roads very windy, narrow. We got kind of lost as well. We got turned up into an area where Google said Banya was, and we ended up in this like small mountain little village where we saw lots of cows on the side of the road. It was all stone houses. It felt like we took a turn into a different century, honestly. So we had to turn around. We almost got stuck because the road was so bad.
Got turned around off the sus little road and back to where we're supposed to be.
We are back here to Banya. So we've read that the water's like a lukewarm temperature, which would be great because honestly it got really hot out here and we kind of want to cool off. I can already see that there's like a little waterfall that a lot of people are sitting on, so we're gonna take a refreshing dip after that really long car ride. It's gonna feel really nice. So the Banya Bridge behind me here was actually built during the Ottoman Empire. There's tons of Ottoman influence here in Albania. Albania has a really complicated history where it's been controlled by tons of different empires throughout the centuries. In addition to architecture being left from the Ottoman Empire, actually 60% of Albania is Muslim, so that religion from the Ottoman Empire still carries over today. So Albania is a really interesting mix of Christian churches, mosques, Byzantine, Roman architecture. Just a little bit of everything I feel like is going on here in Albania. The restaurant owner who told us about this place also told us a lot about all the medicinal properties that this has been used for over the years. Like if someone had an ailment, they were told to come soak in these waters. So it has a long history of kind of being almost like a natural spa-like retreat. And it's honestly not too commercial touristy either. I feel like it's still kind of one of those up and coming countries, kind of a hidden gem. There definitely is a lot of tourism, but it's just one of those really interesting, unique places, and I'm so glad we're here. So we just finished up here at Banya. We got back to the car. Now we're gonna hop back in and drive the 2 hours back to Ksamil. We're gonna go down to the coast area and try to find some supper and hopefully catch the sunset. If the sun is shining over there, we'll see. So something is currently wrong with the key and the car won't start, and we have no idea why. So we are back in the car, we are back on the road. This light is so crazy. What happened is for about 30 to 40 minutes, we were working on jump starting the car. We had some nice people who stepped in and let us use their car, and then there was a French man who let us use the jumper cables from his RV. His RV was set up for sleep mode, so he said that he couldn't move it. So I found someone who was willing to move their car. Anyway, we finally got it started. We were back on the road and we are going straight to the rental company and dropping this car back off to them, making no stops so that we don't have to try to jump start this piece of junk again. But anyway, that is what we are up to, and this lighting is horrible. So we picked a restaurant here that's right on the water that overlooks all of the beach chairs, the umbrellas, the blue water. We did miss the sunset, but it's still really peaceful. The food is amazing. I got a Caesar salad. My favorite part about Europe, that they always bring baskets of bread with every food without asking, and then to top off the night, some wine. Also love the prices of wine here in Europe is amazing, especially after a seriously long travel day. To top it all off, on our walk here, a bird pooped on me after we dropped off our faulty car and handed that in, which the mechanic ended up saying that like some of the wiring was bad on our car battery. So that's what was up with that. I'm just thankful that we are back here tonight and we're not still sitting in that parking lot 2 hours away. But anyway, we're gonna dig in, we're gonna enjoy before we get up to explore more of Ksamil tomorrow. Hello, so it is the next day. It's about noon. The sun came out, so we wasted no time walking right down to the beach here in Ksamil. And these are honestly one of the prettiest beaches I've ever seen. Just all the different shades of blue right off the shore. It goes from almost like white crystal clear to like dark blue Mediterranean, and it is absolutely beautiful. There's not many people out here since it is May. Our waiter last night told us that the majority of tourism happens in July and August, and the beaches even in the morning are just full of people. So even though we are having some spotty weather, I am happy that we are here in May before the crazy tourist season, and like I said, it's just so beautiful I can't even handle it. So we are going to just soak up the sun while it lasts before we walk over to the archaeological area and check out some more Roman ruins.
All right, after spending several hours down on the beach, we went over to a restaurant, grabbed some delicious gyros. We've eaten so many gyros since getting here to like the Greek Albania area, and now we are walking, trying to find a taxi to get down to the Butrint Archeological site. So the Butrint Archeological site is one of the more popular areas to go check out for like an afternoon or for part of a day if you're in Ksamil. So what Butrint is it was originally a Greek settlement, and then obviously, as with a lot of this area from the Greeks, it was controlled by the Romans and then just kind of handed all around. So a lot of people that built up on it and changed kind of like the layout of the original town of Butrint. And then after an earthquake in the 4th century, the Romans kind of left it behind, and then in about the 5th, 6th century, a lot of Christians came here and settled here. So there's a lot of different churches here that were built up after all of the Greek and Romans lived here. So a very cool site to come check out. So as we've been walking around checking this area out, we've noticed just like how covered everything must have been when they first started like digging this site out and looking at everything, because like up on the path level, you're like a solid 5 feet above like the ground level of all the buildings. So there is at least 5 feet, 6 feet maybe of just dirt that got piled up over the centuries right on top of all these old structures. So definitely took a lot of work to get everything unburied and kind of put back together for us to come look at it today.
So next behind me on the path is what during the Roman times would have been a gymnasium or potentially a private house. And then when the Christians took over this area, they changed it into a church, and this is what is left of it. And this looks like if it was someone's private house, it would have been really big. There is just remnants of walls kind of scattered throughout this area. So really pretty. So we just came from a small basilica where the floor actually still has the original tile, but they keep it covered because the floodwaters rise and fall on this island. So they want to preserve them and not have them be ruined if they were exposed to the elements, so they are kept covered. Then behind me right here is the Great Basilica. It's so beautiful how much of it is still left here. So we're just walking around these ruins, and it looks like it's currently the home to several different frogs. So we finished up our time at the ancient city of Butrint, and then we walked up the road to the panoramic overview for sunset. It was absolutely beautiful, and you could see another old castle actually that the sea is starting to overtake. Then we got a taxi to come pick us up. Now we're walking back up the hill to our $19 Airbnb. We've had a great time here in Albania along the coast, and we hope that you've enjoyed this video at what a couple days here can look like. Thank you so much for watching this video. It means the world to us, and we will see you in the next one soon.